it's Keith Alberstadt here. Alberstadt. You made a fortune off a funky name. Yeah, it ain't good. You grow up, you never think that's going to be the thing. Right. It's going to be, how you're going to make your livelihood is off of your last name. Yep. Kind of kicked it off. We can talk about a lot of things going on in the world, but there's probably nothing more important than Vanderbilt football.
This is the year.
Look, I saw that documentary the other day.
Netflix?
Yes. Yeah. Have you watched it?
Most of it, yeah. I watched the Vanderbilt episodes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. Well done.
That coach, I didn't know he was a Vanderbilt guy.
Yeah.
And what a great human being.
Yeah.
In the way he comes across, him and his buddy, who's the athletic director, right?
Or I don't know what his title is exactly.
Or maybe I think
they both grew up, around Vanderbilt football.
Yes,
cheered for him, and then they went to school there. Of course, he played there. And
yes.
So it's a good story.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah.
It really is.
And this is the year.
I tell you what. They're on my radar every week.
Yeah.
They absolutely.
You text me every week like, "Come on, Dor."
I know. Well, I've got.
That's because we don't play Memphis. If we played Memphis, you probably wouldn't.
Well, I'd still text you. So, and then when we're playing Memphis, it'd just be flip-flopped a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've got about a half a dozen friends that I know are big fans of something.
Yeah.
And so when that's on, I'm watching whatever is on sports.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to it. So it gives me a good reason to text you, catch up, whatever. I know where you are.
Right.
I'm pretty sure unless somebody's paying you a lot of money.
And sometimes I'll have to pause the game or record it and watch later. And it means I got to shut my phone down.
Correct.
It's impossible nowadays to record a game and watch it later if you don't want to know what happens.
Right.
You got to shut the world off.
Yes. Yes. You can't watch ESPN, nothing.
You can't have no
because the ticker goes across the bottom.
You can't just silence messages. You have to because you get the notifications. Somebody will call you that you never heard from in years.
Right.
So you just gotta shut the world down and get to the game.
Well, I know I've got 2 or 3 buddies that will text me and go, "I'm taping. Shut up."
Right.
Right. Like, okay, all right. I'm cognizant of that when I do a show and there's a big game going on.
Yeah.
While that show's going on, Michigan is playing Ohio State or something.
Right.
So, and I go, and I'm watching it in the back, but I go, oh God. Years ago at some point I was getting ready to say something. Oh, half the crowd was like, "Shut up!"
Yeah. all those one-nighters that we do as up-and-coming comics, and there's a game on, and you're just like, don't shut the game off, please. Just don't disrupt the people who would rather watch that.
Oh yeah. The one-nighters with the bank of televisions in the back. Yeah, don't piss them off. That's for sure.
They pull the plug on all of them, and we're going to start the comedy show now.
Hell, there was one. The one that just sticks out in my brain was there was a comic named Leo Dufour. And he had a really good headliner out of Windsor, Ontario. And he had a club up there, really good club for about 10, 12 years. But he had a one-nighter attached to the front of it that was there forever. And it's the Michigan Tavern. And it's just a blue-collar, Canadian, bar. Mm-hmm. But it was really a pretty good one-nighter in that there were 3 sections. It's a big, huge open room, but there's 3 sections. There's the stage and the crowd that's watching the comedy. Yeah. That might be 100 people. Uh-huh. And then there was a little section above that, which is just a bank of televisions, 12 of them at least, pinball machines.
Yeah.
And, that's the hockey or whatever the hell's going on. Yeah. And then there's the back bar, which they're in another world, know. And it was interesting, once you'd done it a while to go, I'd take a new person, like if you came and me and you never been, and say, actually, this looks like it's going to be really bad. But it's not. Yeah. Because the 100 people that are sitting there, they're into it.
Right.
just ignore the rest of this.
Right.
They'll ignore you,
Right.
and you ignore them. You know,
Just block out the periphery and focus.
exactly.
I did a show in a casino in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, when I was first starting, and there was a loudspeaker right above the stage giving ongoing shuttle schedule. It's like I'd be in the middle of a joke, and the shuttle A is departing in the blue zone.
You just work it in.
Okay.
You just work it in. You know. Back then,
half the shuttle A crowd stands up and, all right, see you later.
Back then, people would go, "Why did you do that?" And I go, $100. That's why I did it.
Right.
That's why you did it. It's $100, $150. You go, well, if I stayed home and didn't do it, I wasn't going to make $100 at home.
That's right.
So go yell at people. Get your
money.
money.
When you start out, there's so much you have to. I mean, there are dues to pay.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's done.
Yes.
I've always said this: if comedy were easy, we'd have so many more comedians. Not just the act of getting up there and doing comedy.
Yep.
But all of the stuff you got to go through.
Well,
to start.
But let me tell you, here's where we're at now. And the thing about that, we are kind of getting there. Because here's what I see. A lot of these comics that are developing now, they don't want to leave their little region.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't. Mm-hmm. I see that when I go to these comedy competitions as a judge. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, Keith, over the past probably easily 7 or 8 years, maybe 10. I go Boston, go out to Vegas, Joe Lauer's thing, and then there's been a couple of others that have popped up. And, out of all the comics I see, I might see 4 or 5 that I'll come up to, hand them my card, introduce myself, and go, hey, I've only seen you do about 15 minutes. But if you got another 15 minutes like that 15 minutes, I'll middle you all day long. And if you're telling me you're a headliner, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll middle you. Look, it'll be an audition for a headline. If you want, and you know how many out of those, I mean, I don't know, it's not a lot, but I'm going to say maybe there's 50 or 60 that I've done. Almost zero of them have followed up.
Really?
Almost none.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what I figured, just the way I figure it, they don't want to leave their comfort zone.
Yeah.
They're in that bubble. They got their little day job and they're doing the comedy, and their whole mindset is, I don't want to go tour. I don't want to go tour like we toured.
Yeah.
I don't want to go do these crazy one-nighters, that kind of stuff. I'll just stay here. I've got my little circuit that I can work out my stuff in, keep posting my stuff, and hope that eventually I build enough of a audience that I can capitalize on that. Then I might go out and tour. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, I might be off base on that, but that's just the way I feel it's. But and I think, I don't know that it.
I can see that.
I mean, going back to going and doing those crazy one-nighters and those bad gigs, that you many times would turn into a good gig. You go in there and you'd get them.
Yeah.
I think that was fun, right? You go in, you go, well, this looks impossible. You just go, well, how could this possibly turn out well? And then you make it turn out well.
Because the team they're cheering for on the bank of televisions won.
Yeah.
And so now they're in a good
or whatever,
Yeah.
But you take a bad situation and you go up there and you go, okay, let's get aggressive here in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Make them look at me. And if I can make them look at me and get them to laugh, maybe I can hold them.
Right.
And then sometimes you do.
Right. Or because laughter is contagious, you focus on that one table who's really into it, and then all of a sudden that domino effect possibly gets the whole crowd going.
And then you get into, and then you go to a place, as I always talk about, tell starting out comics and people that want to do it. I go, those gigs, you don't have anybody's. You really don't have their attention. Mm-hmm. Not really. It's split focus, and they didn't particularly come there especially for that. That might be half the reason they came there at best. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you have to win them over.
Yeah.
You got to win them over. Comedy club, a good comedy club. Oh my God, they're coming in for this?
Yeah.
And they're actually like really focused on you, and you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden you get to where you can do those bad one-nighters and turn a lot of them good. The ones, and then you get into then you start playing clubs.
Yep.
I mean, I just think that how strong it makes you, but I don't know.
That's true. There's a lot of truth to that. It's like you're battle tested. You did the training.
Yes.
And it's not like easy training. This is how you gotta survive up there, and you gotta get the crowd's attention. And
you gotta figure
with
out
that, with doing the stuff that you want to do, and then like you said, you get to a different room, where they are all there for you. All that training pays off.
Absolutely. Now you go, this is easy. You're shooting fish in a barrel here. Right. They're all listening.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, and when you go, because I think you have a particular show. I mean, you go in, and I would think doing a crazy one-nighter. You have a structured show that goes, I don't particularly want to go off of my show and have to do something totally different just to win these people over, because I don't know that they're going to really, this is going to hook them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that, I think experience helps with that a lot. Mm-hmm. Like like I said, the table that is kind of paying attention and having a good time. If something is relatable, something that you can ask, do you know somebody like that, or you're laughing, does your dad do that, or something like that, and once you engage, and I'm not a huge fan of crowd work,
right?
But it's just a tactic to once you engage a crowd, it's almost like that's what draws people in who aren't listening to your jokes, but like, hey, there's some kind of conversation going on here.
Right.
And then that's an opportunity to get right back into the joke.
Right.
Right. Just that quick. Oh, you know somebody like that? And then you go right back into that, because my dad does it.
Yeah. And then they're starting to have fun.
Right. So it's that again, with experience, you learn how to do those different things.
Right. Did you ever and I'm sure you must have in the city, would you go? Back when I used to go up there? There was a couple of guys that would book stuff outside of the city, mm-hmm. but you would get picked up by your opening act at Catch a Rising Star or the Improv or somewhere like that, right? One of the main clubs, right?
Yeah.
Did you do some of that work?
I did a lot of the on the outskirts of the city, and Connecticut and New Jersey and things like that.
But because that paid, you could go make $150, $200 a show instead of $30 in the city, kind of a deal. And there was one that I did called Mary's Fireside. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Well, when I did it, they said it was infamous. Yes, they did. They go, oh, it's
where was it?
Going to Mary's? It's down in Jersey, down in North Jersey. Keith, it's just a bar. Just a kind of but it was a strip club originally.
Okay.
With one stage, and the stage is behind the bar. So, and that was where the stage was. So the stage, you're on the stage, and what's in front of you is the bartenders. The bar.
Yeah.
The bar, you're above it.
Yeah.
And then you've got everybody, and most everybody's standing, and then they had a room in the back that had some bumper pool tables or something like that.
All right.
And it was one of those gigs where it's like, it's crazy, but they always pay, and they got great cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, it's fucking cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers are great. so it's like, screw the show. Nobody went there to really, with any expectation that the show was going to go well. But they've been doing it for like a long time.
Yeah.
I've met a bunch of New York comics that have done this thing.
I've never even heard
And
of it.
I went
What
to-
city in New Jersey? Do you remember?
I couldn't even begin to tell you. But we went. Actually, I drove up to the city that time, and Pam and her roommate Gretchen went with me to the gig. And so they're back in the back. And by far the prettiest girls in the room. By far. And but I got up there and I go, okay, I see what it is. And the thing is, you're given a lot amount of time, 45 minutes to get your money. You go, well, I'm gonna do 45 minutes. If nobody listens, I'm not leaving this stage for 45 minutes because I'm gonna get my $200.
Right.
And there's times when I've been on stage, I don't know if you've done it, where I've looked at the crowd about 20 minutes in and go, hey, I know y'all don't even really know what I'm doing up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you really don't.
Yep.
Not really. I'm just a guy up here. I said, but let me go ahead and hip you out to something. No matter what happens short of gunshots, I'm not leaving this platform for this for 40 more minutes.
Right.
I'm not, because I got to get paid.
Yep.
Right? So
get
pay attention.
settled.
Whatever you want to do.
Pay attention, don't pay attention. I'm going to be up here talking.
I'm going to be up here. Yeah, not leaving.
Right.
Call me whatever you want to call me. Call my mother, whatever you want to call her. I'm not going anywhere. And so I was up there, and I just started screaming at them. And they were screaming back. And we're actually kind of having fun. It was almost like, you're just cheerleading.
Yeah.
You're just cheerleading and going back and forth. And I used to do a bit about cow tipping. And it was a good little chunk. It probably, 6-7 minutes about cow tipping. And of course in the Southeast, hell, that's killer there.
Right.
That's a closer. And so I was like, well, what the hell? It can't go. Nothing's working.
All right.
Nothing's working. What the hell? I'm in Jersey.
Yeah.
So Keith, I go, anybody here ever heard of cow tipping? You would have thought that I just announced their national sport. The place went crazy. And I start doing cow tipping. That's what won them over.
Really?
Yes. And then I thought, well, shit, Jersey cows, I guess. Jersey cows. And you're outside of the city. You're not in Newark. You're not in a big. You're kind of in a rural area. You're in one of those small towns in Jersey.
Yep.
And you just don't. Back then, I didn't equate Jersey with rural.
Yeah.
With people who would be on farms and stuff, but obviously a lot of these people
farms.
were.
Yep.
And I went into this stuff that I would have thought, well, that would only work in the Southeast. And you go, oh, no.
Right.
No, it's, I was a hero, because
I
I knew their national sport.
That's hilarious.
Anyway.
Did you tell every comic in New York after that, like, hey, just
when you
this
get
is
to
how you
Betty's
win 'em over.
Fireside, you got to get country. You got to go country on them. Just telling you got to lose the New York thing.
Right.
They don't. That ain't Betty's Fireside. Right. These are shit kickers.
I wonder when did you leave New York?
Well, I'd never lived up there, but I was going up there. I started going up there probably late 80s, probably 85 to 95, right in that time period.
Right.
There was a guy named John Schuler that I got all these gigs from, and there was another guy, I want to say his name was Balazzo or something like that, and he had some one-nighters and weekend gigs outside of the city. But I would Schuler would be my main guy. He'd go, I don't have anything for you. Let me call Balazzo. And he got, And so I could go up there and I could do a weekend. I could book in weekends, Friday, Saturdays, 4 shows, $200 a show or something like that. So $800. And then do in the middle of the week, maybe do 3, So I could go up there and, hang out in the city for 10 days, have fun, these little showcase clubs and leave the city with $1,200 in my pocket after expenses or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was how I would go up there, and it was crazy. This guy John Schuler, for that period of time, got me every time I called. He was like, "Yep, I got it." You know, I mean, never met him,
Really?
never met him. And then one day, one night, after we'd opened the comedy club, the main room down here, he walked in the damn room and introduced himself. He goes, "I'm John Schuler." I hugged him. I was like,
Wow.
"Thanks, man." He goes, "You were great to me." Yeah. He goes, "Well, you never screwed up. You never got any bad reports on you. You know, the cow tipping, they're still talking about that."
You're legendary now.
Legendary, you know. But isn't that crazy? You know, I mean, I had Schuler, and then, you know, even after I've gotten in the comedy club business, you know, over the years, how many times I'd have an agent that I dealt with for 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Never met.
Really?
Never. They were in it, unless I wanted to go out to Los Angeles, was where most of them were, or up to New York, you know, to actually meet them, and then try to get them to actually meet with you. Yeah. You know where you meet them is Montreal. Oh, yeah. They would all go there. You know, if you go to, that's where I'd end up running into some of them as far as that goes. But, yeah, I'd had that's just part of the industry as far as that goes. So.
The comedy industry.
Well.
It's been going strong.
Well, it's amazing. It's still going as good as it's going. And you're now, like, you're settled in. You've been doing this. You're rock solid. You got your places. You know, you're solid up there. And you're how old now?
52.
Wow. Okay. All right. You look good.
Well, thank you.
You do. You don't look a day over 42.
I appreciate that.
I know. And you got kids. They keep you young.
Yep.
But, you know, you're 52. And, you know, in this industry, who stops doing this? Yeah. But, you know, you got easily, you got to be thinking 20 more years. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, rock solid.
30. 35.
More. Go.
Let's just keep going.
Who quits? Nobody quits doing this. Right. So I'd be interested.
You can't quit. Go ahead.
No, you can't quit. But, okay, you've seen the industry has changed a lot since you got into it.
Most definitely.
You know, I mean, did you get into it before the internet was even developed?
It was very young.
Okay. All right. So how do you see yourself? I mean, what's your because your strategies had to change since you first got into this, and what you're seeing the industry doing, what's happening within it. Is there what's your goals now in this?
Well, I mean, the goals are always, I don't think those ever change. It's just how you attain them and the strategies and how you market yourself, and marketing and promotions is ever changing. I mean, with social media now especially, it's and now AI is going to change a lot of stuff.
How?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about AI. I'll say that right at the start.
I don't think anybody does.
I think
even people that say they do don't really.
But it's just so I see it as AI is rapidly going to change the whole landscape of how we do everything. It has the possibility of doing that. Right. And how you harness that and use it to your advantage. I have no idea. I mean, social media is still a beast I'm trying to work with. That there are different things to do, and so many different things within each platform that you have to pay attention to and do. And
how much of your income do you see over the next, let's just say the next 10 years, but 10 to 20, do you see coming off of not being face to face with people, but coming from just putting your material out there and somehow getting it monetized coming back to you, rather than a ticket sale at a venue kind of thing?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, I always will love the live aspect of what we do.
Right.
So, yeah, those goals of, theaters and constantly working throughout the year, those are always going to be on the
Well, because I'll tell you this, as much as I try here, we put stuff out, and I know, with everything that we're putting out there, that we definitely get financial gains coming back to the theater. But now, as far as so far, financial gains off of this podcast, off of any kind of comedy thing, the open bar that I put out there, or anything like that, not really a lot. I mean, 10% at best or something like that. When I would certainly think that moving into the future, somebody told me one time, not too long ago, that they thought the future of comedy clubs would be that the clubs would generate at least as much income off of selling content as they would off of ticket sales and liquor sales inside the four walls. That was the future of where comedy clubs were going. Now, I haven't seen that with anybody yet.
And how long ago was that?
Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that was in thinking about if I was going to sell my club, right? And they go, you got to think about the value of your club potentially, because all the content that can be created and put out and, can come back. It's the potential for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was just thinking on your ends, how much you kind of are putting any focus on that end of it. Or is there anybody in your, like, publicist or manager or whatever?
No, I mean, it's I think it's I don't think it's always smart to look look ahead. But if you look too far ahead, I think the landscape is so ever changing, and it's and fast. It's changing very quickly. I think that if you look too far ahead, it's not.
It could change.
It's not going to be accurate. It could. So I guess my strategy would be to not look too far ahead, because I'm trying to get control of what I can.
Right.
With not only now but in the near future.
Got you.
And so whatever changes, you have to adapt to. Comedy is all about you just like everything else. You adapt, and you have to evolve with the changes and keep up with the herd. And
we know the live aspect of it. I've said for years, you can't. Well, one of the things I go, you can't get the feeling of of anything, of any kind of, whether it's music or comedy or whatever, when you're not there.
Yeah.
Off of watching it on a screen.
Right.
Right. Now, and I said I don't know that they're ever going to be able to make that leap.
Yeah.
Until I went to the Sphere in Vegas. And then I went, yeah, they might be able to.
Oh, yeah?
That was pretty incredible. Yeah. And so, and the other thing was, Apple now has those goggles.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you put those damn things on?
I've not.
Do it.
That's the virtual reality?
It's an eye-opener.
Yeah.
They're limited, from what I understand, they're limited with the amount of content that you can actually get to put on there.
Uh-huh.
But the part of it that blew me away was watching a basketball game. And Keith, at one point, the ball gets thrown towards you, and it bounces and it comes at you, and I put my hands up.
Yeah.
I mean, you just reacted to catch the ball.
Yeah.
That's how amazingly real it was. And I really felt like this is how we're going to watch sports in the future.
Wow.
And it really, truly felt like I was sitting ringside. I mean, that I was sitting on the floor. It was unbelievable.
But to be fair, I think other technological changes have had that same effect. I remember when you were describing that the basketball game, I remember hearing about the first 3D movie. The crowd ducked.
Yes.
Because I think a gun was shot at the camera, or maybe it was a train or something, but they were all freaking out.
Yes.
And like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I mean, 3D movies are kind of
yeah. I mean, I would hope that there nothing would take away from live.
Yeah.
And I say this, I had this conversation at dinner, and it's just so weird that this has happened just in the past 2 weeks. Here in this town, I'm like the weatherman because I've been here for so damn long. Everybody knows you, But normally when I see people out, they'll go, "Hey Les, love the club. Saw Keith Alberstadt. We love Keith when he comes in. Whoever, something like that." You know what I've gotten probably 20 times in the last couple of weeks? Thanks. Thank you. They don't even say my name. They go, "Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping doing this. Thanks for keep bringing it.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing it. Just thanks."
Yeah.
And that's at someplace to go.
Yeah.
Someplace to go to get away from
Yep.
it all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And comedy is in some communities is it.
Yep.
Yep. It really is.
I think the pandemic in that regard helped stand-up comedy because people were so itching to get out there and do something and watch live entertainment.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate
Thanks for
our
having
little
me.
chat.
Appreciate it.
We done?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right.